Hi friends, my name is Sarah and welcome back to my channel. The Alaska cruise season is in full swing now, and if you are going to Alaska this summer, I am so jealous. If you've been to Alaska in April or in May, let me know in a comment how was your sailing, how was your cruise. Anyways, in today's video, I thought I would share some of the things that I wish I knew before my Alaska cruise last year. And if you have a cruise to Alaska booked already, I hope this will help you out. So let's get started. I know that Alaska cruises are popular, but I didn't know that they are that popular. All of the cruises that I went on before I went to Alaska last year in June have been in 2021 and early 2022. So that means we didn't really have a lot of people on board. The capacity is pretty low and there were still a lot of COVID restrictions. However, when I hopped on my cruise to Alaska back in June of 2022, it was definitely different. The ship felt really crowded and there seems like there's a lot of people who were on our sailing. I could definitely tell from the check-in process because it took us over an hour to finally hop on Quantum of the Seas last year. Usually I like to arrive at the port a little bit after 12 p.m. or like after lunch, just because I know by that time most people have already been on board and I should be able to go through security, go through the check-in process pretty seamlessly, and then I get to hop on board in under like 20 minutes most of the time. However, not for the Alaska cruise that I went on last year. So if you are going on an Alaska cruise this summer, just so you know, it might be a lot of people. It might take you over an hour to check in. And if you have cruise maybe earlier in the season, in April or May, let me know in the comment below, how was the check-in process? Was there a lot of people? Was it crowded on your sailing? And this kind of goes into my next point. As I mentioned, the ship felt crowded to me. It was like the first time that I felt that cruising is back. And I feel like it's also because most people on an Alaska cruise would hang out inside the ship. You've probably done your research and you've probably heard that Alaska weather could be bipolar. It could be sunny in the morning and it could be windy and rainy in the afternoon. So I feel like most people tend to just hang out inside the ship. If you've been on a Caribbean cruise, you know that a lot of people are hanging out by the pool deck, by the hot tub, and usually once you are getting closer to Alaska, it might be too cold to actually hang out by the pool deck. So most people are hanging out inside the ship, and I feel like that's why the ship felt crowded to me. The next thing I want to talk about is about the time at the port. Although you do get about 6 to 8 hours at each of the port that you will be docked in Alaska, I still felt like I need more time to explore the port. I did hear from someone on YouTube, I completely forgot to save the channel's name, but basically she was saying that if you are going on a one-way cruise to Alaska, like from Vancouver to North Alaska, you might have more time at the port and you wouldn't feel as rushed as if you were going on a round-trip cruise. So mine was a round trip from Seattle and then we were back to Seattle in a week, and I feel like because we have to make it back to Seattle in time, that's why it felt like I was rushed at the port, even though like I said we had like about 6 to 8 hours at a time at each port, but I still feel like I need more time. And this kind of goes into my next point. If you don't have a short excursions book, or if you don't want to spend a ton of money on activities at the port, there's actually a lot of free things that you can do around the port anyways. For example, in Ketchikan, there's actually a bunch of shops, a bunch of like pretty area where you can take a bunch of pictures. In Sitka, there's actually a shuttle bus that you can take for free from the port to the downtown area. Again, there's a lot of shops there. There is a visitor center, I want to say. There's also like a church that is famous there with Russian influenced design that you can explore and maybe walk around in. We only had about 30 minutes in downtown Sitka between our tours that we booked, but if we had more time, I would definitely want to explore more of the downtown area in Sitka. And in Juneau, there's actually a tramway that can take you up the Mount Robertson, and once you're up there you can go on a little hike. There's also a restaurant there and you can definitely see a lot of pretty views up there. Again, we didn't go up the Mount Robertson, and other than that that, you can also again roam around the downtown area. There's a lot of restaurants, shops. You can definitely spend a whole day there if you want to. However, if you want to go the other route and you want to check out some of the short excursions that you can do up in Alaska, I actually did a video last year about how I plan my short excursions with how much I spend and all of that. So if you want to watch that video after watching this video, I will leave that video link in the description box below and up here so you can watch it right after this video. And if you are looking for like the best of the best short excursions, my personal favorite was the one we did in Juneau. We actually booked the tour through TripAdvisor and we had so much fun. We actually kayak about 45 minutes to the Mendenhall Glacier, and then we get to actually trek around the glacier. The tour guides had a lot of information and very knowledgeable about the glacier, and I know kayaking for 45 minutes one way and then you have to kayak back for about 45 minutes might make you nervous, but me and Ricky are not fit, or were not fit people at the time, and we were still able to do it and we survived. It was so much fun and so cool to actually be able to step on the glacier. And if you want to check that short excursions out, I will leave the link down in the description box below, so check it out. I feel like the number one thing that people would look up once they book an Alaskan cruise is what to pack, because like I mentioned before, Alaska's weather could be bipolar. In the morning it could be sunny, in the afternoon it could be rainy and windy. But the number one thing that I would highly recommend you do your research and pack for your Alaska cruise is a really good rain jacket. Make sure that the jacket has obviously a hoodie so it can protect your head and your hair from getting wet in case it's raining, as well as one of those sleeve thing that you can actually adjust so it will make it tight like on your wrist, so if it's raining you won't really get wet like from your sleeve. I actually got mine from Costco for like $30 or $35. It was Columbia, I think, the brand. And when we were in Juneau doing the kayaking and trekking the glacier, it was actually raining basically the whole day. The tour operator actually provided you with everything: rain boots, waterproof pants, as well as a really thick rain jacket if you want to use theirs. But honestly, I already had mine on. It was already comfortable, so I decided not to use their waterproof rain jacket, and mine works just fine. So make sure you pack a rain jacket for your Alaska cruise and make sure you get a good one. This last thing I feel like is the top thing I wish I knew before I go on a cruise to Alaska, and that is realizing that a cruise to Alaska is just a little teaser and introduction to Alaska in general. If you look at where you're gonna be stopping in Alaska, it was only at the edge of Alaska and you're not even exploring the rest of Alaska. Going into your Alaska cruise, know that you're only seeing a little bit of Alaska. Were they wonderful? Of course. When we were about to dock in Ketchikan, I was literally crying a little bit because I finally get to cruise to Alaska. It's been on my travel bucket list for a long time. It was a wonderful experience, but just know that you're only looking at probably, I don't know, a tenth of Alaska, and there's just so much more things to explore. Let me know in the comments below what are some of the things you wish you knew before you cruise to Alaska, because I feel like there are a lot more. And if you have anything, make sure to leave them in the comment below. I really want to hear about it, and I'm sure people who are watching this video might want to learn one or two things more about what other people wish they knew before they cruise to Alaska. If you want to watch more cruising videos, travel hacking videos, and cruise tips and travel tips in general, make sure to go watch one of these videos that you see on the screen. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see you next time. Bye!